Eugene's police chief says the department's property crime unit has been inadequately operated for decades. A recent audit proved just that, revealing a long list of bad practices needing attention. Good evening, I'm Brandy Smith.
And I'm Brian Richardson. Chief Pete Kerns says that attention is now being paid in the form of a brand new staff and protocol and 2 investigations. KEZI 9 News reporter Lauren Michler spoke to Chief Kerns and is live now with our top story here at 6. Lauren?
Brian and Brady, it's actually their property control unit that's in question. The audit revealed some questionable practices, a severely insignificant staff, and more than 1,100 unable to be located pieces of evidence. In short, EPD's property control unit needed a big overhaul.
It is very disappointing to discover the extent of the shortcomings of this operation here.
Chief Kerns says he knew things were out of order at the department's property control unit, but not as bad as a 2012 audit revealed.
I think the audit tells us that our staffing was inadequate. We also know now that some of our systems are not as efficient as they could be.
One of the worst revelations, 1,116 items of evidence were deemed unable to locate. All this negative news prompted EPD to basically clean house of people and practices and bring in a new supervisor from a different department and eventually 7 other new employees.
When the sergeant became embedded in the work unit here, after a number of weeks, it became evident that an internal affairs investigation was indicated. So we separated 3 of the employees from the workspace.
So EPD launched an internal investigation and called on OSP to also do an independent criminal investigation as well to figure out if and how policies were violated by former employees.
My concern is that policies were violated and that there's the potential that crimes were committed, but those investigations haven't run their course yet, and I hope that neither policies were violated or crimes were committed, and that's what we determine at the end of this.
As the investigations continue, the new and larger staff will do its best to try and locate the at-large evidence while instating new protocol to get the PCU back up to standard.
There will be a whole new normal. And we will go from many years of not operating within national standards to one where we're an accredited work unit, property control unit.
Kerns says those 3 employees that were separated from the workspace during this investigation are not technically being investigated, but they could be depending on how both the internal and criminal investigations continue. Live in Eugene, Lauren Michler, KEZI 9 News.